Yes, this is Shonda. I'm going to tell you something about the rapper known as Nipsey Hussle. I had been knowing Nipsey Hussle since we were small children. I'm talking about small children. And he just, you know. But anyway, the thing is this knew his brother them. I told you I was a kidnapped child myself. And they were some of the children I met. Him and Lauren, his cousin, Lauren London. When they call Lauren London, that's his cousin, first cousin. His daddy and Lorna's mom are cousins. So, they're cousins. So, anyway, to make a long story short, we call ourselves boyfriend and girlfriend, and then his brother's like, she my girlfriend. You know how kids is. So, we kind of left it alone a little bit. He come to me and tell me that he's a Crip. He asked me did I want to be a Crip with him since I was his girlfriend and all this type stuff and this, that, and the other. Because all of his friends had girlfriends and he wanted me back to be his girlfriend because I was smart. He was like, because you real smart. And yeah, I'm going to go back to school. And he was saying this, that, and the other and all this and that. He was just, always verbalizing how he felt about a lot of things. So during the process of the time I was already had met Omarion, and I already knew the one they called Kevin Gates, which is B, and the list goes on and on in the entertainment industry. I know these people. Chris Brown, he was always around, uh, and so forth like that. Terry was always around, which is Usher. The most person I ever spent the most time with was with Kevin Gates and Terry. You know, Kevin Gates would always come over there and help me with the kids and stuff like that. Terry would do the same thing so I could go to work or whatever. They was always, good friends to me for a little bit. And but the point is this back to Nipsey Hussle. So when Omarion was coming around, his mom was around, his grandmother's boyfriend, and his mom boyfriend, and his brother. His brother wasn't around that much. So let me get back to Nipsey. So Nipsey supposedly, uh, a lot of things when I had went blind a few times and got sick, things of mine was coming up stolen and this, that, and the other. And this lady, Anthea, was all them and Toy McLean them and all these everybody else supposed to have my back was writing checks out of my bank account. I did not write to nobody no large sums of checks and stuff like that. Omarion had told Deisha, now he didn't realize that Calvin was always around too. Cause see, Calvin, when he didn't want to be bothered, which is Snoop Dogg, when he didn't want to be bothered, he'll lay up under the bed or he'll lay in the closet just to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Cause he wants to be bothered sometime. And he know what I'm talking about on this. So Omarion was making a comment about Deisha, and he'll tell me one thing and tell Deisha one other thing. And he supposedly was trying to run game, quote unquote. Like he said he liked me or whatever. He didn't want me dead or nothing. But at the same time, he was asking Deisha, where she was getting money from and this, that, Deisha was like, I ain't got no. Deisha was telling him that she ain't have no money like that. What he talking about? She said, oh, you must be talking about. She was telling him he must have been talking about me. And he was like, I don't think this, that, and the other. She was like, no, that's because everybody be stealing her stuff and this, that, and the other. So come to find out, Deisha had them wrote Omarion the check for my account. And she was doing all that type stuff, stealing my stuff and this, that, and the other. So by this time, when all this time he was coming around, Omarion was, he had started, that's when I had met Boog. Well, they weren't calling him Boog then, that was just Jay. They started calling him Boog because, he had a crush on me. Now my handler name is Boogie. And they was calling him Boogie P. So then Raz and then Lil Fizz, all us was always around each other, off and on. Not a lot like that, but off and on. So anyway, so by this time, like I said, Nipsey now had never did anything wrong to me. I always looked out for me, had my back. this, that, and the other. So when he found out what everybody else had did and how Bruno had started acting a fool, which I'm talking about Bruno Mars. When Bruno started acting a fool, because Bruno had took one of my checks and tried to write it out for $1 million. I had to whoop his tail, you know. Because why was y'all sitting up here blind? I was blind and everything. And why would y'all do me like that? Especially sit up here, I care about y'all, and I'm sitting up here helping y'all and this, that, and the other. They want for not for a doggone thing. They will not get sick. You do me like that. So anyway. So next thing I know, let me get back to Nipsey. So Nipsey had ordered him a watch, okay, a Rolex, off one of my accounts. And he got the Rolex. My son got the Rolex right now to this day. My son Dior got the Rolex. And it had from Nipsey, it had to Nipsey from Shonda on the Rolex. And he ordered it himself. He was like, "Shoot, I don't ever ask you for nothing and this, that." And I said, "Why would you do that?" You know what I'm saying? What is you doing? And then he had just started, like, when everybody else started doing little stuff towards me, he kind of joined in a little bit, and he was just kept picking. Then he stopped. And he was like, "Nah, he kept telling me he gonna give me my money back because that was wrong and this, that, and the other." So when I got pregnant with my son, Denarius, the one that's deceased, he was telling Chris Brown lies, talking about, uh, man, you can get some money off insurance policy and this, that, and the other, and this. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody had lied and told Chris about something about abortion. I have never had an abortion ever in my life. They were just telling Chris Brown all type stuff. And he just started, like, I don't know what was going on in his head, okay? I'm getting to this. So Nipsey go tell Nika Riley, the one they call Nika Riley, and he tells her, "Oh, Shonda Thomason, she like you a lot. Maybe she'll let you get an insurance policy and on them and this, that, and the other and all this type stuff." Nika tells her mama. Her mama knew better than that too, and Nika knew better than that. Because her mama had already told her about people when they start talking about insurance policies and all that type stuff. And he said he was just saying it, just trying to see what I was going to say. Why would you sit up there and say something like that towards my baby? My unborn child. I hadn't even had him yet, okay? And if when he was alive still, what was wrong with you? Why would you say that type stuff? And he kept getting mad, asking why'd I have a baby by Chris Brown. He told us because his mind ain't right. He go along with any damn thing. But Chris Brown is part of the reason too. Our son is deceased. So I'm gonna leave that right there. So Nipsey continued on to pick at everybody, not pick at them like to aggravate them. He'll just say anything about me or this, that, and just try to see what they say. Because he was like, they fake as hell. What do they call themselves doing? He was giving people money to hand to me because I got stores in EAST.ST.LOUIS and he was running my stores. And I kept telling him he didn't have to run. He said no. He said he just kept putting his foot down like he bought my stores or like he was my husband or something like that. Till one day we got into it real bad, verbally. And he was like, "You're right." He was like, "You're right. I'm not your husband. I'm sorry for telling people that." And I'm just gonna get you your money back, and I'm gonna do right, and I'm going. He said he was gonna get him a gal, and he was gonna stop that stuff with me, and he did. So he had gave me $400, $500 to put down on the coat. He was like, "Well, they got there's some nice leather coats on sale with fur on them, whatever." So I went to this place that had them on. They had them on sale. And I had got it, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's real nice." So everybody was talking about it was nice. So he was like, that's the type of stuff he was doing. So every time he'd be at the store, he'll see me. He started seeing people around me. He'd be like, "Give her this, give her that, do this for her, take her to this, take her this." You know what I'm saying? And everybody was keeping the money for themselves. My point was this. So at the same time, he was like, you see what I'm saying? He said, so now when you leave, because, he knew I was going to California. He was like, now when you leave and go to California with the kids, you ain't got to worry about nobody, them fake people being around you. Those kids wasn't no good. Them kids you helped, go on, let them be with Trey and them then. Because that shouldn't have happened that way. Ain't no way in the world. Why would they do you like that and you was the only ones that took care of them? You made sure they had food in their stomach, clothes on their back, shoes on their feet, haircuts, everything. They ain't even your kids. You looked out for the neighborhood for so long just because of you being you. And it made a lot of sense. But every now and then he'll still hype himself up and he'll get mad at me because he kept saying he wanted to be with me and was making comments if I wasn't going to be with him, I wasn't going to be with nobody else. Stuff like that. And that's what was basically what was going on, you know. And so when stuff started hitting the fan with Ludacris, came through with that mess, Ludacris popped himself off and Nelly, along with some other people. So all those people, I already knew who he was giving money to hand to because he'll bust them out. Or say, yeah, ask him where that money is. Did nobody die for me to get no money? I've been working my whole life. My whole entire life I have been working. Ever since before I got in the double age. Before I was 10 years old. You know. But that's all I had to say about Nipsey on that. And that's pretty much it. Talk to you guys later. Lauren London, you know better. She know that, she's going to be questioned a lot about this stuff too because she has things that belong to me too and she needs to up them. Talk to you guys later.